Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm Ken, and joining me today is Ashley. Ashley, I have to say, when you told me the topic for this episode, I was genuinely surprised.
I know, right? It still feels a little crazy even to me. Today we're diving into something I actually did. I completely deleted all my social media apps for 30 full days. No Instagram, no TikTok, no Facebook, no Twitter, nothing. And the title is exactly what happened. I deleted social media for 30 days. Here's what happened to my brain.
Before we get into the juicy details, I want to ask you something that a lot of listeners are probably thinking right now. Why did you actually go through with this? Most people say they want to take a break, but almost nobody actually deletes everything for an entire month. What was the breaking point for you?
Honestly, I hit a wall. I was spending way too much time scrolling, sometimes 2 or 3 hours a day without even realizing it. I would tell myself, just 5 minutes before bed, and suddenly it was 1:30 in the morning. I started noticing I felt more anxious after using it, not less. I was comparing my normal, messy life to everyone else's perfectly curated highlight reels. One night, I caught myself feeling jealous of a friend's vacation photos while I was sitting on my couch in pajamas. And I just thought, this is ridiculous. I'm letting an app control how I feel about my own life. That was the moment I decided to delete everything.
I've had that exact same feeling. You close the app and somehow feel worse than before you opened it. So you went cold turkey. What was the very first day like?
Day 1 was surprisingly okay, but day 2 and 3 were rough. I kept reaching for my phone out of pure habit. I would unlock it, tap where Instagram used to be, and just stare at the blank space. I probably did that 20 times on day 2 alone. There were moments of real uncomfortable boredom. Like, I have nothing to do with my hands or my brain kind of boredom. But here's the thing, that boredom turned out to be the best part.
How so?
Because when I stopped filling every tiny moment with scrolling, my brain finally had space to breathe. On day 4, I picked up a novel I bought months ago and read for almost 2 hours straight. I hadn't done that in years. On day 5, I went for a walk without any podcasts or music, and I actually noticed the color of the sky and the sound of the birds. It sounds small, but it felt huge. My brain was starting to remember how to be present.
That's really interesting. I've read that constant social media use can actually shorten our attention span over time. Did you notice your focus improving?
Oh my God, yes. By the middle of week 2, I could sit down and work on one task for 90 minutes without checking my phone even once. Before the experiment, I was lucky if I lasted 20 minutes. My brain felt quieter. The constant background noise of what's everyone else doing was gone. I could finally hear my own thoughts again. It was honestly a little scary at first, but also really freeing.
And what about anxiety and comparison? That seems to be the biggest issue for most people.
That was probably the most dramatic change. I didn't realize how much low-level comparison was affecting me until it disappeared. I wasn't seeing perfect bodies, perfect relationships, perfect careers every single day. My self-esteem quietly improved. I stopped feeling like I was falling behind in life. My anxiety around what other people might think of me dropped a lot. It felt like my brain finally got a vacation from the comparison trap.
That makes so much sense. Social media is literally designed to make you feel like you're not enough. So when you remove the source, your brain stops comparing as much. But I have to ask, weren't there times you really missed it? Like major FOMO or wanting to share something special?
Absolutely. Around day 10, I had an amazing day. I went hiking and watched this beautiful sunset. My first instinct was to take a photo and post it with a caption. But then I stopped and thought, why do I need other people to see this for it to feel real? I just enjoyed the moment for myself. That was a big mental shift. I started living the experience instead of performing it for likes.
Wow. And what about your actual relationships? A lot of people worry they'll lose connections if they stop posting.
This was one of the biggest surprises. The people who really cared about me still reached out by text or phone call. The ones who only interacted with my posts, they didn't message me at all. It made me realize how many surface-level connections I had been maintaining. After the 30 days, my real-life relationships actually got stronger because I had more mental energy and attention to give them.
I started having longer, deeper conversations with friends instead of just liking their photos. That's such a powerful realization. Okay, let's talk about the science for a minute, because I know listeners love understanding the why behind this. What's actually happening in our brains when we're constantly scrolling? It's mostly about dopamine and attention systems. Every like, comment, and new post gives us a tiny dopamine hit, the same chemical involved in addiction. Over time, our brain gets used to constant stimulation and starts needing more and more of it to feel normal. That's why we keep scrolling longer and longer. At the same time, our attention span gets trained to jump every few seconds. When you suddenly remove all that stimulation, your brain goes through a withdrawal period. It's uncomfortable at first, but then it starts producing its own dopamine again. From reading, creating, talking to real people, and just being present. It's like a reset button for your reward system. So it's almost like giving your brain a chance to heal. Exactly. Research shows that even short breaks from social media can reduce anxiety and improve focus. 30 days is long enough for your brain to start forming new, healthier habits around attention and reward. All right, I know everyone is dying to know. What happened at the end of the 30 days? Did you reinstall everything? I did reinstall the apps, but with very strict rules this time. I no longer keep them on my home screen. I only check them on my computer and only for a maximum of 20 minutes a day. All notifications are turned off. Most importantly, I stopped posting every single thing that happened in my life. Now I only post when it actually feels meaningful, maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks instead of every single day. The difference in how I feel is honestly night and day.
That's such a smart, sustainable approach. So, what advice would you give to someone listening right now who wants to try this but feels nervous?
Start smaller if 30 days feels too scary. Try just 7 days first. Or do a social media Sabbath. No social media from Friday night to Sunday night every single weekend. You'll be shocked how much free time and mental space suddenly appears. And when the urge to scroll hits, just sit with the discomfort for 2 minutes. Usually the craving passes. Also, tell a friend you're doing it. Accountability helps a lot.
I love that. Any final thoughts you want to leave our listeners with?
Just this. Your attention is one of the most valuable resources you have. Every time you give it to an algorithm, you're giving away a piece of your life. Taking it back, even for a short time, might be one of the kindest things you can do for your brain, your focus, and your future self.
That's such a powerful message. If this episode resonated with you, I have a challenge for you. Try at least 7 days without social media and see what happens. Leave a comment or send us a message. We genuinely love to hear about your experience.
And if you want to go for the full 30 days like I did, trust me, your brain will thank you more than you can imagine.
Thanks so much for sharing this experience with us, Ashli. This was honestly one of the most eye-opening episodes we've ever recorded.
Mine too. I'm really glad we talked about it.
All right, everyone, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. We'll see you next time with another great conversation.
Take care of your brain, everyone. It's worth protecting.
Bye for now.